time it is!
Thank you, everyone, for checking out the C-Squared Hour. I, of course, am your host, Chris, bringing you my post-4th of July episode. Anyone blow off a finger with a firework? Okay. God, that would have been a perfect time. I'll let you know. Actually, this is good as time. I need to let you know. I do listen to my listeners. I am an open vessel for your ideas. I had a good friend of mine and longtime listener say, hey, you know what would be a good idea for your podcast? This. So, I have brought something back to the show. It was recommended. He told me face to face, which awful sweet of him. Really nice guy. That was cool of him to do. However, how the fuck does the world, like this podcast and social media, it doesn't exist in the real world. A lot of people try to make it exist in the real world, and it doesn't. So, right now, I don't give a flying fuck who talks to me in the real world about this podcast, because the only way, I know like 7 people. So, at best, word of mouth, I can get like 12. Because of those 7 people, only like 3 like me. I mean, shit, you listen, I'm not for everybody, but that being said, I listen. He came to me face to face. No one knows that he did it because he didn't do it on social media. I'm 50-50 on that one. There is a surprise coming in this episode. And it'll be on future episodes. And it's, A, not a bad idea. I've actually been thinking about it. B, it goes to show you all that I do listen to my fans, to my squareheads. I do listen. If you have ideas for me, if you have an opinion, of course, there's the one that I tell myself every fucking day in the mirror. Get better at this. I've heard that one, okay? If you have an idea or an opinion, my DMs are wide open on everything. So, give me a shout and your idea might end up on the show. So, thank you, Sig. I hope you do hear this episode. You hear the shout out. It's even on a special episode. This is, as many of my squareheads know, this is a leftover beer show. We had the 4th of July. I have random beers that I or someone bought, or I don't remember where they came from. Leftover beer shows are a big deal in this. As I call them, bottom of the cooler beers. This is a bottom of the cooler show. Which is possibly some of my fans' favorite shows. It's just a different aura about it. So thank you, Sig. You are going to be hearing the surprise later on and throughout the episode. As I finish one of my leftover beers. Okay, my longtime squareheads are gonna be asking, where is the other Chris? Chris has gotten, I don't know what he's gotten, because honestly, he hasn't talked to me about this at all. But apparently he's not the biggest fan of how hard I've gone at women's sports lately. Or throughout the show. Or, quite frankly, most of my adult life. He apparently is not a big fan of it. News to me. What he's doing, and it's weird to start this in the summer, but from what I hear, his idea is that there's less people. I'll explain his reasoning. He is going around to different colleges, institutes of higher learning, if you will, and telling the female athletes that, hey, while my co-host is saying all this stuff, I don't necessarily believe in all of it. So I hope he's white knighting women's college athletes. That's basically what it comes down to. He is basically saying, look, you are just as much of an athlete. I don't know how he's saying it, but he's basically saying, just because my co-host is saying all this stuff about women's sports and everything doesn't mean the entire show or the entire staff of the show believes it as much as he says. Which kind of bugs me, because if he would have said to me personally, hey, maybe you should pump the brakes a little bit on the women's sports, I might have only had one criticism an episode rather than 6 or whatever my broken record ass is doing. He didn't come straight to me with it. I mean, obviously he didn't, because this episode is, once again, littered with it. I'm a little upset. I would have liked, appreciated, even expected at least a text. I know we're in a weird age. I know he has his other things going on. A text would have been nice to just say, hey, even if he still wouldn't did it, if he said, hey, you're going hard on this, let's, even if you're not going to pump the brakes, at least pump the brakes later. But right now, I'm going to go around and tell these female athletes that they do have an ally on this show. And now you're going to say, but Chris, doesn't he know it's the summer? And yes, squareheads, that's what I was getting to earlier. He's going in the summer because most student athletes, or I guess the better way of saying that is the majority of people who are still on college campuses have an extracurricular reason to be on there, whether it be something or athletics. So he doesn't want to swim through, get it? Because that's a sport. Showed you, folks. There it is. The soundboard is back. Thank you, Sig. It has arrived. It is here. I told you, you're getting something new, folks. That was way too easy of a joke to use that on, though. I promise I will try not to go to the well too many times. He doesn't want to wade through all the other students, and you never know who's actually an athlete on campus and who was a great athlete, but it's not. You don't know that anymore, so he waited till the summer to do it. Look, Chris, I understand what he's doing. I don't understand why. I mean, I can guess under why, you know what I'm saying? We all know that's the best thing about college chicks, right? I'm a little upset he didn't come to me, and I feel a little stabbed in the back. But we'll get through this. It's not going to be the end of the C Squared Hour. It's not going to be the end of our business partnership. And by God, if we were going to have the end of a friendship, it would have happened years ago. There's been a lot of shit. So, yeah, if all you squareheads are wondering where the other Chris is, there he is. I did mention Sig earlier about the addition. Speaking of Sig, only people who know us personally are going to know why that's a thing. So ask me why on social media so it looks like people actually listen. I don't know. I'm a little annoyed because I have to be annoyed because he didn't shout it on social media like I tell people to do on every fucking episode. But he came to me personally, which is more of a, I don't know. Anywho, Randy, the offer is still here. Let's lace him up, bud. I don't know how often I can make the offer and have radio silence from you. I'm gonna do it for fucking ever. Because we both know you're too big of a pussy to fight me. And you have too much pride, I guess is the word, for some fucking reason, to call yourself a pussy on a public forum. I don't know, that's the problem. People have pride when they shouldn't be proud. Look, here's the thing. I am going to be in your presence. I won't say how or why or whatever. I'm going to be in your presence in approximately in the neighborhood of 3 months. 3 months we'll be seeing each other face to face again. I told you I only need 2 months to train from your offer. So if you jump on board and you say, all right, let's do this, that gives a perfect amount of time. The timing is now. You only have a month to answer the bell for this one. I'm putting you on the clock. For this promotional season or what the fuck, session? I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. For this promotional time, you have a month to answer the bell. So anyone who knows Randy personally, who knows him on social media, get on him. Say, hey, we know the offer's out there. We know that there's a time limit on it. I have people to make shit happen, so let's make it happen. I don't know what else I could say about it that hasn't already been said. It honestly, I think I talk too much about it on every episode because nothing new is coming from it. Yes, I'm still offering to fight him in a boxing, in a controlled environment. I'm still offering. I'm still going to offer. But again, I think I talk too much about it because what's been gained? I think I just need to just drop a line every time. Hey, the offer stands. Because why am I wasting my breath and my precious airtime? Sorry, if you heard a little post, I'll pause. Well, I'm going to edit it out. But I was looking for something on my soundboard worth talking about my quote-unquote airtime. It's a recording, douchebag. You can record it.
You stupid.
See? But I did manage to find a place. Randy, I'm going to mention it every time. This might be the last time I go into it. I am going to put the counter on. Like I said, you have about a month to answer the bell and beyond that, we will see. Now that I'm done with that, let's get into, as I clear my newly found allergies. I don't know where this year is the first time it's been real. So maybe.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that?
Maybe it has something to do with that. Okay, I'm done. If you know me, you know I don't like to get too political, right? I'm unfortunately gonna have to start because we know what's been going on lately. Gonna have to start a little too political. I hear gas prices are kind of high, huh? And that's where I'll leave that. Okay, so we have story time now. I went to a minor league baseball game the other day. Very, good time. I like minor league baseball. I like all kinds of baseball. It happened to be Pride Night. Cool. Here is the problem I ran into. Government entities sponsoring things at events. This is sponsored by the city council of whatever. This is sponsored by the... Why are they sponsoring anything? Why are they wasting? Well, we need to get that. This is sponsored by the Department of Transportation of the state of Oregon. Why are you sponsoring anything? What is the point? First of all, what's the fucking point? Why do we need a sponsor for a entity that is just a public service? The Street Department for Des Moines, Iowa. Why is that a thing? First of all. Second of all, as a taxpayer, shouldn't we, well, I guess not just me, as taxpayers, shouldn't we get a voice on what the public goods sponsor? If we're paying into these things, sponsor. It was the same thing with Lance Armstrong and the postal service, post office. It's not a private entity, so why is it sponsoring anything? And if I'm helping pay for that entity or whatever, shouldn't I get a say in what they sponsor? Shouldn't we be allowed to, as citizens, maybe you get like a higher percentage of the vote depending on how much taxes you pay? My vote counts a lot less than somebody who makes a lot more money. I don't know why I was gonna. I don't know what my fucking. I don't know what my fucking big thing was. They just make more money than me. Will you shut the? Why don't we? Wouldn't it be hilarious? Maybe a nice wet t-shirt contest sponsored by the District Court of wherever you do. That just bugged me. Political, what? Why? So basically you're saying that I am paying you money to sponsor the 7th inning stretch. Well, we have to raise your prices on, or we have to raise your taxes for city utilities, but we're doing that because we have to sponsor a promotion at the baseball game. Go fuck yourself. Let's stop. Just stop. Of course we're wasting fucking money. I thought I was going to be a lot angrier than I was there. I was angry at the time. I don't know, maybe I should have said this earlier, because I was pretty buzzed when 7th inning stretch came around, so that's how I got so upset. But I think we should be able to decide. It should be put up to a vote. Like, hey, calendar year, you get to decide what... Well, that was almost a sentence.
You stupid.
It's a calendar year. You get to decide via vote. Or, let's not add a special election. Do it during voting season. You get to decide where the money is spent. All right, well, it looks like the sewage department of Portland, Oregon is sponsoring a wet t-shirt contest. If you don't like that, get out and vote. If you do like that, we'll see you on June 16th in the middle of downtown. I did mention it was Pride Night when we went to go, right? I didn't know at the time. It wouldn't have changed anything. I don't give a flying fuck. I guess that's kind of the wrong word. That is going to sound very problematic if I say it. So let's there we go. So let's try that again. It was Pride Night at the park. Cool. I love a good promotion night at a baseball game. My first question is it a coincidence? Is it offensive? Am I just looking for anything to put on my fucking show to say this? Pride Night had fireworks? That seemed a little, I guess, on the nose. Why would Pride Night have fire? Why would you pick that night for it to be firework night? I'm not trying to say anything specifically. I'm trying to ask, is there a reason for that? I don't know. It just seemed weird. Or maybe it wasn't. Maybe it just happened to coincide. Are we supposed to... Okay, I'll leave that one there. I thought maybe, but... I was looking at my list here, and that's all I had on my show prep. Why was Pride Night the same as Firework Night? I was hoping I would get rolling and that would be something, but obviously it didn't come to fruition, so I guess I will just move on. Another thing I noticed about that, lesbians seem to love going braless in public. Maybe they assume that most other lesbians are ass ladies so they don't have to see, or maybe they're I don't know, it just seemed like I've gone to a lot of baseball games. It seems like there was less bras this time. That's all I'm going to say. Anyone else notice that? Okay, I'll leave that one there because that wasn't going anywhere either. My last thought. All this stupid shit going down at gay pride parades, at events, at clubs. If you're gonna have that night and you see what's going on, especially at a minor league baseball game because children come here, shouldn't you have extra security there? I did not see an extra... In fact, I'm not sure I saw a security person there at all. Maybe there wasn't. They were undercover and that was the point. Maybe I wasn't supposed to. But unfortunately, I think we're at the time where we just gotta stop... At least for now, we gotta start saying like, hey, who cares what it looks like? If we're going to have a Pride Night, which we can and should if we want to, we're going to have to add more security. I just walked in, could have done, and then I hear 2 days later of a shooting at a Pride parade. And I'm thinking, why? What was this thought of? Is this thought of at any sort of event that they call Pride or... Because a lot of it comes down to repressed homosexuality. Let's try that again. Repressed homosexuality that they don't realize, oh, I'm only so pissed off at gays because I'm actually a little bit gay or a lot of bit gay and I'm not allowed to be with my... And the other argument, I don't want my children exposed to this. Well, a minor league baseball game, it's going to get exposed to it. That seems like a spot where extra security would be needed. I guess that's the big thing. Why do we still have rose-colored glasses on in this country? We see what social media says about every sort of group. We see how you get more credits on the fake side that more people tend to believe and worship. You get more credit the further you go. So instead of just looking, are we just going to have to say, hey, any sort of activity that could be seen weirdly might have to have extra security. We might not be able to do it. It's sad to say, but it's almost like, take this baseball game for example. It's Pride Night. I don't live in the most quote-unquote woke area of the country. It's definitely not the least, but it's not the most. I could see a deranged, sexually repressed homosexual who is mad at gay people because they're allowed to do what they... I could see that person in my city. But it didn't appear that anyone else planned for that potential. We either need to stop having any sort of nights, or I don't know, Hammer Toe Heritage Night. Stop having any of those, or make sure if it's a hot button topic, which unfortunately Pride is, if it's a hot button topic, maybe we need to lose the glasses and say, hey, we're going to have more security. Alright, I'm done with that. That was way too fucking serious for, especially this early in the show. All I'm saying is, Unfortunately, I didn't feel as safe as I've felt at other baseball games for no other reason than knowing people are fucking angry idiots. So if you're gonna have a night like that, by all means have that night, but plan for it accordingly. That's all I'm saying. Oh, good, another fuck. Listen, I understand that Pizza Hut has a lot of commercials. I understand it's a news thing to say, oh, Little Caesars is now the sponsor of the NFL. But if I see another fucking comment that says, well, it looks like someone can out Pizza the Hut, I'm gonna punch you in the cunt. Okay, we get it. It's an easy joke. That's fine. If you're tweeting it, you're on Twitter. You've seen it 600 fucking times. I'm still seeing it come up. You've seen it 600 fucking times. Stop. If you're gonna tweet something that you're trying to be fun, well, I guess someone does out Pizza the... You know why we get fucking stupid ass commercials that are like that we're just pretending to enjoy because we have to in between football games? You know why? Because you fuckers, you placate them by saying, well, this is their tagline, so I better make a tweet about their... No, you want to know how you stop those commercials? Stop saying anything about them. Billy Mays died. When's the last OxyClean commercial you've seen? That might not be the best. Out Pizza the Hut. We're seeing stupid commercials because you placate the stupid commercials. Stop acknowledging them and we won't see them. And will someone please give Craig Robinson a job or a raise? He's on some other fucking stupid commercial now too. And trying to be funny, but commercial funny, and it's just not working. Someone give him a real job. Well, he has that Peacock show, so who knows? Maybe the commercials will stop. Give him a job. Speaking of commercials, I wasn't going to go into this, but it just popped in my head. I was a little annoyed about seeing other political commercials. We're coming up to, is this technically midterm elections or partial term elections or partial term report? Uh-oh.
Nope.
Can't dump a joke about that even, especially now.
How dare you?
Exactly, hun. But I'm watching and I'm saying, why are these people spending... People donate thousands, hundreds, the maximum amount they could donate to these campaigns, and they put on commercials? That seems like the worst. I mean, you can advertise in the back of a penthouse, but that's kind of the closest thing to... It seems like a waste of money. Until I realized, no, the only people who are watching commercials are old, bored people. Who is your biggest voting demographic? Old, bored people. Anyone who gets annoyed about it, because I'm sure I'm not the first one. I'm pretty fucking stupid. Anyone who gets annoyed about it, why are they paying so much for commercials? Because the people who vote watch commercials. Quick thing, though, I saw the day that Roe v. Wade got overturned. I'm not going to go into it too much. I saw a commercial with Nancy Pelosi celebrating. May not have been a commercial. May have just been I think it was a press conference. That's why it hit me so weird. Nancy Pelosi talking about some gun control bill that got to the president's desk the day Roe v. Wade got overturned. Seems like a good time to call your congresswoman and say, you're missing the point on this one, hon. No one gave a shit about guns that day. But you're a political hack, so what do we expect? Were you just looking for something to make yourself happy because of how bad that was, or how bad you felt about it, or... I'm not going to go into the whole Roe v. Wade thing. There's so much to unpack there, and I'm not the one to do it. But were you just looking for something to celebrate and forgot the cameras were on you? Or, as you could tell, I've made the mistake of started watching news again. So I got a couple things I found on the news stories. So there's a government in Central Africa, I forget what country it is, that is backed by Russian private militias. Like Blackwater is the big one in America. But yeah, basically soldiers who are privately paid instead of... So obviously the UN, the US, so obviously they're backed by the Russian private armies. So the government is in cahoots or very much in with Russia and Putin, so that's a whole big thing. Now, the rebel groups are having trouble fighting these private armies, even with support from the UN. And you know who? They are also having trouble even with training from the country of France. Well, no shit. You're taking your army training from France. No shit. You are taking your army training from France. Their army hasn't done shit since what? Their revolution? I mean, they did help out in our revolution. France is the one that you're hoping to... I hate to tell any of my Central African fans who are on the rebel side who, if France is your main train, you're fucked. You're fucked. I understand you'll take all the help you can get in the position that you're in, and I get that, and I understand that, but you're not going to win by learning how to tuck your tail and run. But by all means, you plant that flag and you say, hey, I wonder if this is just another case of the world saying, America, we need you to be the world police. I know you don't want to. I know we pretend to say we don't want to. So here's what we're going to do. One of a major argument areas, you know what we'll do? We'll send France in to help them. So they are guaranteed to get their ass fucked by all this. The biggest issue I had with it is that wasn't mentioned on... I watched it on a news channel, and then I read 3 stories about it, and that wasn't mentioned. Why the fuck is the French army helping? The French army? It looked like I was the only person to notice that in the last 100 years, their record has been ducking, hiding, and waiting for someone stronger to come. I think the Central African rebels could figure that one out without the French army. So if you're a French taxpayer... Oh, by the way, Dad, this one's for you.
My name is Jeff.
Anyway, let me jump into the... If you want to know what that is, ask me or ask my father about what that whole thing is, why that's funny. I know I promised I wouldn't watch the news anymore, and I've tried not to. But I'm an absolute nut job. I've mentioned it before. So I can't sleep. So the late baseball game gets over at 11 now that other sports are gone. So I got to find something to do. So I watch all these fucking news stories and everything. So I'm sorry. It might be another reason why I'm so wound up. This other news story I heard. It's an interesting one. So there is what they call, I think it was Moorish is how it's pronounced. It's a group of African Americans who, and it's different. It's one of those things that these Moorish people think one thing, these think the other. But in essence, it's a group of sovereign citizens who feel that because of whatever land deals or whatever they had, that they are not, that they're sovereign citizens, so they are not under the umbrella of the United States government. Finally, folks, it has happened. Black people have finally stolen from the white people. Finally! Holy shit, we take blues, jazz, rock and roll, rap. We've taken so much from black culture. Finally we've given them something back. Finally! I have never been more proud of my heritage than to see a black sovereign citizens group. My God, it's been too, I don't know in my lifetime if I have seen such I've seen it all the time the other way. I've seen so much of black culture stolen by white people in my lifetime. I've seen it up and down and up, and I've never in my lifetime seen white culture be stolen by black groups. And my God, it feels good. It feels good. I know I would feel differently if it had been done since the 1700s and it included people. I know I'd feel different. But finally we were able to give something back. We've taken and taken and taken. We have finally given something back to the black culture in this whole sovereign citizens thing. If you're not proud and happy, and I don't think I've ever felt any sort of ethnic or racial or genetic or any sort of pride until I watched that. Here's the real part about this, and this is the part that's not as fun, but the news is always 2 years behind, right? So you hear about the sovereign citizens thing in 2018, 2019. When really it happened when that guy was in office. So what you're running into right now is now we're finally 2 years away from the last election. We're finally getting the news stories of what grew during
I am the chosen one.
his term. So that's what it is. You saw the sovereign citizens thing pop up like a year after Trump, and now we're seeing a year and a half. That's all it is. The news is catching up to citizens being annoyed at the previous administration. And the citizens who were annoyed in the previous administration was lower class citizens and African Americans. Beforehand, it was white people who felt their shit was being taken. Well, I teased it. I told you it was going to happen. I can't get through an episode without women's sports, can I? I don't know. This might not be a sports story. This might be a human interest or a political story. I guess we'll find out with what all my squareheads say on social media. Megan Rapinoe and Simone Biles are getting the Presidential Medal of Freedom, one of the highest honors that a private citizen can get in the United States. Let's look at their most recent accomplishments in their chosen fields. Rapinoe distracted her teammates, according to her teammates, so much that they weren't able to win the medal that they were heavily favored to win. Say what you will about women's sports, and I'll say it, but if you look across the globe, we support our women athletes quite a bit. That's why when you look into women's sports in the Olympics and World Championships, America does so well because we allows the wrong word. Well, no, allows the right word, because there's a lot of governments around the world where you look at countries that are good at men's sports, they don't let women leave the house. So yeah, I guess the gold medal should be a sure thing in women's soccer. Aren't many countries that can field 10 or 12 or 11 or 13, however many are on the field. There's not many who can field that many who are allowed out of the kitchen. There aren't many countries that can do that, and America's one of them. So she, in her most recent opportunity in her chosen field, distracted her team so much that they lost the gold medal. I think they barely won the bronze, if I remember correctly. Who gives a shit? Okay, so is that why she's getting the Medal of Freedom? Because that's the... If she managed not to distract her team and still do all her political stuff and win the gold, if she could do all her political stuff without fucking up the rest of the team, which she didn't do, if she could do that, then I understand the Medal of Freedom. I understand it. But since she fucked everything up so bad that they couldn't... Maybe there's another reason. I don't know. Simone Biles getting the Medal of Freedom. No one cares about gymnastics until the Olympics. Simone Biles didn't do her one fucking job. She had 5 years because of the whole Asian AIDS thing, which is a whole nother thing. How are we having the Olympics in China? I digress. She had one fucking job and didn't do it, and she's still getting commercials, and now she's getting a fucking medal. Why? Because she said she was sad during the Olympics? What in the good fuck? I mean, the Rush Limbaugh getting the Medal of Freedom was a giant publicity thing, and it was just Trump couldn't figure out anything else to write in his speech, so he had to get 10 minutes to give a deaf guy a medal. But she had one job, she didn't do it, they're still giving her commercials. Why the fuck is she getting a medal? Well, here's the medal you would have got if you did your job, so it'll be the same color. She's so brave. She's so brave because she chose her mental... No, she's not. If she was so brave, she would have figured out all her mental shit before the Olympics and went out there and did it. Okay, I know I'm not the best person to talk about this shit, but still, I don't have a six-figure deal with, Subway or whatever for not doing shit. Is Tide still paying her? Or who the fuck knows? All I know is both those broads, if you look at their most recent accomplishments in their chosen fields, they didn't do shit. Like I said, in their chosen fields. They may have done other things outside of it. Okay, well, let's, I don't know why I guess I just don't understand the blind acceptance of anything, really. Of anything. That's whatever, we're getting close to the end. I'm getting a little buzzed, but I did not like that announcement. Well, let's, you ready for a joke time? A dog stalled a woman's soccer match. How can you tell from all the other dog-faced bitches on the field? That's right. I just did that for the joke. So if you get mad at me, well, then you get mad at me. Who gives a shit? A quick question. I downloaded, I saw an advertisement for the WNBA app, and I downloaded it. I'm still waiting for my check. They wanted me to enter credit card information to pay for it? Wait, you have advertisers all over the place. If like on the court, on the jerseys, you have advertisers all over those places. If I download your dumbass app, I'm gonna put more eyes on those than were already there. Shouldn't I be getting a cut of whatever you're selling? Whatever you're... No, wait, I have to pay for the app? So I have to pay to watch a inferior product and to get advertised by products who clearly think that advertising on an... I'm still waiting for my fucking check. Why do I download the app? I'm not entering my card or anything. I am doing more downloading the app for your cause, for your company, than you were doing for me if I download and pay for the app. You owe me. So I download the app and I'm waiting for my check. Once I get my check, I'll sign up and I'll put all the money onto the... Because you're going to have to pay for the cost of the app plus whatever more advertising money you're making because I'm one of the 6 people who downloaded the app. You're going to have to pay me extra. You know what? I will take the entire payment and I'll put it towards the app. I will put it towards my down payment for next year. But to have me pay, you guys are fucking idiots. Why not a free app and have ads? It works for Tubi. This is probably a good time to wrap up because I am spiraling. I'm a little too buzzed. I had to do a lot of technical work before this. I started recording later than I wanted to, later than I planned. But I started drinking at the same time, so let's get this over with. I have one more PSA to end with. As a society, can we say, fuck Jeff Goldblum? Fuck him. You may have had some good things in the past. You may have been good in Jurassic Park. You may have been good in... You are a hack now. You are a fucking moron now. You think that Christopher Walken, his appeal is being weird. No, Christopher Walken's appeal is being weird with talent. You're trying to be Christopher Walken without any of the talent. None of it. So, just stop. Just stop. No one gives a shit. Your headshot on IMDb with the weird tie-dye shirt, because look at how crazy I am. You're not. You take away that shirt, you take away all the stupid shit that they do on Facebook that, for some reason, if you're between the ages of 32 and 41, you absolutely love Jeff Goldblum. You take away all that. You're a poor man's Nick Cage. You're a Walmart version of Nicolas Cage. You're trying to be Walken, but you have no talent. And that's where you're different. So, Jeff Goldblum, just stop. And as a society and as people, can we just stop? Well, I hope this episode didn't go off the rails too much. I know there was some weirdness. I was a little distracted by having the soundboard back, but maybe you enjoyed it more. I do appreciate everyone listening. Once again, I hope I will be able to do another episode soon enough. Remember, I do have a merch store. So you can hook me up there. You could share and everything so I get advertisers. See, because
I am once again asking for your financial support.
See, it worked there too. So yeah, I have a merch store. Like, subscribe, share, all that. If you have beer recommendations, hit me up. Since there is nothing else, I hope there's nothing else. Since there's nothing else, I will see you all next time.